just come into the living room. It's quite early in the morning and look at the fog. I don't think I've ever seen it looking this foggy out there. But look at that, don't the trees look beautiful? It's very mysterious and a little bit spooky. I'd show you the very early stages of this piece. This is going to be the biggest drawing I've done so far. It's 10 by 14 inches and it's actually on, let me show you the paper, if I can get it open. It's on Archer's hot pressed watercolour paper, but because it's so smooth, I thought it'd be brilliant for pencil. So what I've done is I've got a really light, this one's steel grey, and light grey luminance, and I've just used that to basically sketch out the very general composition, and I'm going to fill it in with lots of detail, and hopefully, I'm really hopeful that this will become the banner for my social media and my YouTube. So Dominic and I are out on a walk. It's Sunday morning and we wanted to get out before we started working today. And we can see the house from a slightly different angle. And you can see it so clearly from down here. And so I thought it would be interesting to show you. I'm going to zoom in. And Dominic will point with his stick. Do you see the greenhouse over there? The end here, the gable end, is that what we call it? Yeah. Where Dominic is pointing with his walking stick is where my studio is. I might get a slightly better angle for you. Okay, I've really zoomed in with my phone now, so I'm sorry if the footage is a bit shaky, but there's the house. Right. Yeah, just there, and that chimney comes up from my little wood burner. Oh yes, this one. It's really interesting to see the house from this angle. Oh, there's a little robin. Oh, is that a robin? Where? Just up there, the tree right behind you. Oh, hold on, hold on. Oh, there he is, look. Look at the little robin. We're in maximum autumn now. Look at those leaves. Everywhere is covered and it looks so beautiful. There aren't that many left on the trees anymore. We think that this is an electric lawnmower. No, what's it called, Dominic? A robot lawnmower.
I would call this a robot lawnmower.
Sorry, I'm puffing and panting here. We've been strolling across a field at speed, but look at this. It's just going around. How much of a good job it's doing, we don't know, because it seems to keep getting caught up in the leaves. That's the lovely house that it belongs to. It is so funny because we were coming across this field and it's just trundling around on its own.
They thought it was a pig.
I did, because it's so low. I thought it was just like a little pig.
It was, yeah.
Oh, how funny. Look, it's taken itself off right down there. So we're going to swatch some of the pencils that you saw me unpacking earlier in this vlog, and some of them that have arrived since then, which I didn't film the unboxing of. They arrived a couple of days ago and I unboxed them yesterday with a few other little bits and pieces, including, just reach over here to show you this, some graphite powder, which I'm not going to be trying out today, but we'll look at that in another video. I've never used this before, but looked interesting, and it was on a bit of an offer at Paper Story, so I got it. I'm just going to put that back. Yeah, before we go any further, I'm wearing my old painting jumper, so that's why I've got something on that is covered in white paint, just in case you think that I look really scruffy. Anyway, the pencils we have here are the Polychromos by Faber Castell. I ordered some colours that I haven't used before. There's one that I have used before, and I ordered a replacement because I'm using that one a lot. But I've left it in here because I actually wanted to compare it to the other one, which is very similar, but I wanted to see what the difference was. We have Pastel Pencils by Caran d'Ache. Now I have 6 of these, and these are to go with some pastels I bought the other week that you haven't seen yet. Well, the members of my art club have seen them. I run an art process club on Ko-fi, and they have actually seen me swatching the pastels. I haven't seen the pastel pencils yet though. So I'm going to do a video on pastels and pastel pencils, but I just thought it'd be fun to swatch these in this video, and then I'll do a separate one at some other point, and we'll have more of an in-depth look at those, because this is a new medium for me. And then I have the Caran d'Ache Technalo pencils, which are really interesting because apparently they write like graphite, but then you can wet them, and if you put a wash of water over them, you then get colours. So we'll see how well they work. And we have some Derwent drawing pencils. I got 4 of those. I wanted to get more colours, but they were out of stock at Jackson's Art, and they've actually been quite hard to find elsewhere, these ones, unless you want to buy them in a tin, and actually I was looking to get them separately. And then we have a couple of Stabilo Carbothello pastel pencils here, so I only bought a couple of those. Okay, without further ado, let's get swatching. Let's start with, let's just move those across. And we're going to start with the Faber Castell Polychromos. Let's just write that down. Okay, so this one is, I'm going to mispronounce this. Somebody did tell me how to pronounce this, actually. I'm going to try and remember. Caput Mortuum Violet. So I normally have Caput Mortuum. I've had this one for a while and I love this colour, so I'm going to swatch this here for you. I'm really loving the Polychromos pencils at the moment. I'm mixing them in with the luminance and I'm finding they work really well together. Okay, so that's the one I already own. That's a kind of backup. And we have this one. This is the violet version. Oh yeah, you can see the difference. Oh, that's a really nice colour. Yeah, that really has a violet undertone. Reminds me a little bit of Carmine, I think it's Carmine Lake, the luminance one that I bought recently. But that is beautiful. I'm really glad I got that. I saw it and I was kind of intrigued. And they are different enough for me to use both of them, so that's good. Okay, so this one is Sanguine, is that how you say that? Another beautiful autumnal colour. All of these could be used for an autumn landscape. By the way, I did a really nice video recently where I did a lot of colour palettes, different colour palettes for my art process club, and I enjoyed doing that so much. I did it a little bit in the last video on my YouTube channel, but we went into far more depth in the one for my art club. Okay, so this one is Nougat. I just thought that this looked like quite a nice sort of mid-brown, quite a neutral colour. It's always handy to have those. And that's nice if you do it lightly. Oh, it gives a lovely soft sort of misty effect. I really like the look of the Polychromos pencils. The luminants are beautiful too. I think they're both really attractive looking pencils. I like the colour all the way along on these ones. Okay, they feel nice too when you're using them. So this is deep cobalt green. I saw this swatched somewhere and I thought, my goodness, I need that in my life. I need another green in my life is what I thought. Yeah, that's lovely. I think I would say the difference between luminance and Polychromos, I actually want to do a separate video on this, but I'm just going to say that I feel like the luminance have a much sort of darker, deeper, slightly more, I guess, textured colour, if that makes sense. I think, are these oil-based and the Polychromos are wax-based, or is it the other way around? I can't remember. I think it's that way around. But that is a beautiful colour and will look good with the other greens I own. Okay, so this one is Helio Turquoise. And again, I saw this swatch somewhere and I just thought it was a lovely colour. Let's see if we can go over that and make it deeper. Yeah, you can layer them a bit so you get a more intense look. So I'm just scribbling a bit. This is not my neatest swatching I've ever done. And then I bought a dark indigo because I was really curious to know whether this is like the dark indigo luminance. It actually isn't. This is good because I did want something a bit different. I'm loving the dark indigo luminance. It's my, well, it's the pencil I'm using the most at the moment, along with Payne's Grey. And this one actually is lighter and has Do you know what? I would say that almost looks a little bit like Payne's grey, this one. Even though it's a dark indigo, but that's a really nice, it's kind of, I would say these are sort of softer than, they layer very, oh yeah they do actually. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say they're softer than Luminance. And then I also ordered a Payne's grey Polychromos because I wanted to compare that too. But we won't be comparing them against each other today. We're just going to swatch these, as I said. But that's nice. That's a very nice grey. That's lovely. Let's see how well that goes. Yeah, that would layer over the top of those. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, now on to, let's try, I'm interested in trying these pastel pencils. So this is black. Let's just see. See, totally different texture. Oh, feels gorgeous to work with. See, it won't go over. It won't go over the pencil because I guess this is chalky and that's oil-based or something. But smudges really well. I actually bought some fixative the other week as well because if I'm going to start working with pastels, I know that I'm going to need to fix the drawings. Whether it's in my sketchbook or otherwise. But yeah, I'm pretty certain they won't go, no, they don't go over the pencil. Okay, that's good to know. This one, it doesn't actually say what colour this is, but it was something like dark grey. It actually looks Payne's grey to me. God, they smudge beautifully. I bet we can get some really interesting effects with these. I look forward to doing that video where I try out all of the pastels and pastel pencils together and we'll see what we can do. That's a really nice colour. This one is Payne's grey 50%. Let's try and swatch in a slightly different way. Lovely texture. Really nice. Liking that a lot. It'd be interesting to see what I can really do with these. It's not something I've ever used before. I think I've used oil pastels way back when I was at school. But these are really different because they're very chalky. So this is violet grey. This is one of my favourite colours in the Luminance. And now I have the pastel pencil equivalent. That's not quite as sort of smooth as the others. It's a little bit more scratchy. I don't know whether that's... Oh, that's a bit better now. That's nice. Yeah, I can feel the resist from the pencils. They're definitely not going to go over the top of the pencils. And we have a verdigris, because I really like this colour in the Luminance. Beautiful. They go over the top of each other nicely. Right, last one is Herculaneum Red, another Luminance that I use a lot. You can see why it's a beautiful colour. Okay. You can fill in quite large areas with these actually, that have a bit more control than you'd have just using the pastels. Right, so the other two, let's do the other two pastel pencils. These are Carbothello. They're a bit cheaper than the Caran d'Ache. So this one, I believe, was Payne's grey. They don't actually say on them, but I'm pretty certain that this was Payne's grey. And look, you can see how much lighter actually that one is. It's much more purplish. So I'm just mixing them in, see how they look layered. Yeah, you can see that actually looks really purplish. They don't have the depth that the Caran d'Ache pastel pencils do, but I like it. I think that's a really nice colour. Feels good to work with. And this one I bought because somebody was saying that they sketch out with this one because it's so light, and it is. And then she said that you can virtually, yeah, you can wipe it away with your finger if the sketch, you know, if you want to alter the sketch. Yeah, that hasn't got much staying power, but that could be a great sketching pencil. Let's just see, will it go over the top? Yeah. Could be quite interesting. But yeah, they're not as rich and strong as the other ones. They don't have as much pigment, I don't think. Right, so let's try the drawing pencils. Now, I've heard that these can go over the top of everything. Let's see if they can. A lot of people really rate these pencils, and I haven't used them very much in the past. Yeah, they do. Look at that. Gosh, that's lovely. Well, they feel really good. Beautiful deep colour as well. Yeah, that will go over the top of everything. That's brilliant because I need pencils to be able to do that sometimes. And this one was called Solway Blue, which is a really, let's see if we can swatch it down here. I hope you can see that. Yeah, very light. Certainly on this paper, it doesn't sound, but it's a beautiful, if you need a light grey. Let's see how it goes over. It kind of does, but obviously the black is really going over the other colours. This one, not so much, but it can a little bit. Okay, this is intriguing. Mars Violet sounds like a lovely name. Yeah, really nice colour. Not so different actually from the violet grey of the Caran d'Ache pastel pencil. But yeah, that will go over the top as well. It looks really nice. It's a nice effect. I really like that colour. And we have ink blue. So I only have 4 of these at the moment, but I'm hoping to get more. Gosh, that's a gorgeous colour. Okay, let's swatch it down here. Oh, I can see me using this colour a lot. I can't tell whether they smudge or whether it's just because I've got so much pastel pencil. Oh, they do smudge a bit. I think they do. Whereas the Polychromos don't really at all. But yeah, that will layer over the top. This could be interesting. So I'll be using those for some drawings in the next week or two. Right, so this is the Technalo RGB Caran d'Ache. Where should we do this? Let's, in fact, move these out of the way. I'm going to do it on this side. We'll try the green first. So that pretty much looks, let's just go the other way as well. Do a bit of cross hatching. That looks to me, yep, that looks just like a graphite pencil. I can't see any hint of colour. So let's give it a go and see. I'm just going to get my brush and we will see. Let's just wet this. Oh. I would say that gives an interesting effect. I wouldn't say it doesn't look green, but I'd definitely say it's a greenish grey. So that is really interesting. I think I could actually use that really well. My landscapes, perhaps. It's lovely. It's a bit like, it's a bit charcoaly. could be interesting to layer over that as well. Okay, so it kind of is green, but not really. Let's try the blue one. Ah, now, I think this already looks a little bit blue. I mean, it's going on like graphite, but it's got a definite bluish tinge to it. That's it. Yeah, look at that. The blue is much more blue. I hope you can see that. That's coming through on camera. That's gorgeous. I can really imagine using this in a landscape. Okay, so there's my page of swatching. We can see that this definitely looks quite blue. Now it's drying. This is sort of a murky greenish grey, but I actually really like the look of it. Even though it's not as green as I'd hoped, I think I can use that in my work and probably layer over it and it will look good. I can't layer over it now because it's wet, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little swatching session. I know that I keep filming this view in this vlog, but look, it's really changing from autumn to winter now. I think the footage I filmed has been over the course of at least a month, maybe a bit longer. And it is nearly sunset. Just look how beautiful that looks. So lovely. I'll come back a bit so you can see more of the view. It's really nice to have a record of all of this. The seasons changing.